What's going on, y'all? Mitchell Renz here. Today's show presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. We go live on Chat Sports every Wednesday and Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. We ask you, submit your questions. This first one's coming in here from Nick Bailey Vlogs. Appreciate it. What do you think about Dameon Pierce, who is the running back from Florida? He's an okay running back. I'm also not team draft running backs very high. Probably going to be a 5th, 6th round pick. Let's go to the next guy here. Zeno, what up? If the Cowboys don't keep Dak, is Dalton the quarterback number 1? So I'll say this. No, I do not want, or I would be shocked, honestly, if the Dallas Cowboys decided to roll with Andy Dalton. Did he play a little bit better at the end of last year? Yes, he certainly did. But I'm going to say there is a 96% chance that Dak Prescott is going to be the starting quarterback at Dallas. If he's not, if your best option being the Dallas Cowboys is Andy Dalton, I really, really struggle what you're doing. There's a lot of quarterbacks that would love to play in Dallas. Jeffrey, I almost said Milfster. What is the difference value of the number 7 pick if a top 10 QB is still on the board versus not? So what is the difference in value of the top 7 pick? So the issue here is this, like Carolina Panthers, they're at 8. I see Carolina potentially being interested in the quarterback. You could see a team like the Jets being interested in the quarterback. Obviously, the Jags are going to be interested as well. Detroit's at pick number 7. I don't really see them picking a QB after going out and getting Jared Goff. But if a top 4 quarterback is still on the board and your team wants it, those picks are really hard to predict. Because with anything with quarterbacks, it is super hard to predict. Now, if you want to join more of our shows here, seriously, hit the big red button that says subscribe. I would appreciate it. Everyone here at Chat Sports would appreciate it. We work really, really hard during the season. In the off season, we don't get any days off. So if you guys could, please watch our videos. Go ahead, hit that big red button that says subscribe. And if you are already subbed, take the link that you see below, youtube.com/chatsportstv, and send it to your friends. Speaking of friends here, Chanel, that's my dude. How can Denver rebuild the no-fly zone? I'll say step 1, you got to figure out a way to keep Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons is going to be the top free agent. You got to figure out a way to get some other top cornerbacks as well, but creating the no-fly zone is not going to be an easy thing to do. I'll say you got to start by bringing back arguably your best defensive player. That's Justin Simmons. Got a question coming in from DazzleStar32. Get a pick. Is DK Metcalf a top 5 NFL wide receiver? I know Metcalf and Justin Jefferson talked about their top 5 receivers probably like a week or 2 ago, and both of them actually had DK Metcalf ranked in their top 5. No disrespect to him. He's not in my top 5 wide receivers. Here are my top 5. I got DeAndre Hopkins at number 1. Devontae Adams coming off just a ridiculous season. He's number 2. Julio Jones, if he's fully healthy, if you could guarantee me 16 games, I'd actually probably put him at number 1. Tyreek Hill's number 4. What he can do, just nobody else in the NFL can do. And then Stephon Diggs coming off 129 catches. DK's definitely in my top 10, maybe 6, 7, 8, all possibilities, but he's not in my top 5. If y'all disagree with me, seriously, let me know. That's what Chat Sports is all about. Is DK Metcalf a top 5 wide receiver? I want you to type Y for yes. I want you to type N for no. If you're like, no, Mitch, he's not, cool, we agree. If you're like, yeah, yes, he is, come find me. I'm on IG at MitchellRentz365. Elijah Hopkins, do you think the Giants should go after J.J. Watt or Deshaun Watson? If I got to pick between one of them, I'll say J.J. Watt. However, I don't see them going after Deshaun Watson. They're confident in Daniel Jones. And if you're the Giants, instead of going out and trading for Watt, who if you trade him, probably going to have to give up a 2nd or 3rd round pick, shit, maybe even a 1st. You're also going to have to pay him $17.5 million. Why not just bring back a guy like Leonard Williams or Dalvin Tomlinson, who are both 2 very productive defensive tackles for you? So I would focus on those guys before I go out and look for a guy like J.J. Watt. Super chat coming in from Emil Patterson. Lattimore to the Cowboys for the 10th pick. I'm guessing you mean Marshon Lattimore. I love Marshon Lattimore. He is a phenomenal player. If you were to ask me, would I take that trade if I was the Cowboys? Yes, I personally would, because I don't know if there's going to be a great cornerback there. Now, I'll say this. I know it's kind of unfair to do. I like Caleb Farley a lot. I know Tom also likes Caleb Farley a lot out of Virginia Tech. I'd be curious to see what Tom would have to say between Caleb Farley and Marshon Lattimore. Then I probably think that you go with Caleb Farley. If Farley's not on the board at 10, then yeah, I would take Lattimore. But I know it's cheating, but that's how I'm going to answer it. Let's go to another super chat here from Jaden Henderson. What's good, Mitch? I hope you and you guys are doing good. I thought the Colts would get Stafford. What happens now? What do we do if we strike out? The Indianapolis Colts will not strike out. This is a very desirable destination if you're a quarterback who thinks that, hey, I can win right now, and if I can go to a team that can help me win right now, the Colts make a lot of sense. Plus, no offense to Jacksonville, I don't think they're going to win anytime soon. The Titans, they're definitely up there in the running, but then also Houston, they're an absolute disaster. There's not many divisions in the NFL where two of the teams you don't really think are going to be contenders the upcoming season. There's going to be a quarterback that ends up going there. If you want to check out my video, it'll be on the channel. So go check it out where I predict all 32 starting quarterbacks for all the teams. Oh boy, I can never pronounce your name, and I'm sorry. Akash. If the Browns are able to fix some of the defensive issues this offseason, are they a Super Bowl team next year? Sure. The one thing that's great for the Cleveland Browns is their run game. You could argue best in all of football. I know we give a lot of credit to Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. It's probably the best two RB1, RB2 punch in the NFL. But that offensive line is why they can really establish the run. I think they have the best pass offensive line, the best rush offensive line in all of football. Their defense definitely needs to improve. They also need to get healthy. Remember, they lost their safety, Grant Delpit, right when the season started. If you can get somebody next to Myles Garrett, they have plenty of cap space. Go out, make a few big splashy plays. But the other person is Baker Mayfield. Baker was good. He was an average quarterback. Can he take that next step? Can he be elite with also a guy like OBJ who also was hurt? Those are some other question marks to say whether or not the Cleveland Browns can really take that next step. Now, today's show is presented by Manscaped. I'm a big fan of Manscaped, and hopefully everyone watching is a big fan as well. If you're not, it's because you never tried their products before. Go to manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. It's called the perfect package because when you use it, when you're done using it, your package will look perfect. The Lawnmower 3.0 fits perfectly in your hand. See, just like this. It's got a cool little light on the edge of it right there so you can get into those hard-to-reach places down there. It's got an 8-hour battery life. Producer Sam wants me to go. You can get in those hard-to-reach places down there just like that. Go to manscaped.com/chat. It also comes with the most comfortable boxers for free. An amazing traveling case as well, so if you plan on going anywhere, maybe a bachelor party. Hey, seriously, it's a great thing to use. The ball toner. It's like I'll say perfume for your nuts. Phenomenal. If you use deodorant underneath your arms, seriously, use it on your balls as well. Valentine's Day is coming up. I know you're probably going to get your girl something special. Why not send this link to her and be like, hey, babe, help me, help you. Here you go. Chat Sports or manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping. Shout out to Manscaped for hooking us up here with this awesome deal. Super chat coming in from Panda AZ. Can a veteran like Sherman help develop Abram since Gruden talked to Sherman? Sure. I mean, there's no doubt that I would like a player like Richard Sherman on the Las Vegas Raiders. He also knows the Gus Bradley system very well. I get the fact that Sherman talked to Gruden on a podcast, but the other thing that hurts Abram is they're so different types of players. I don't know if Abram's ever going to be a productive player for the Raiders, but if you could try to see what Earl Thomas did or a guy like Cam Chancellor and try to turn Abram into one of those players, maybe you have a realm of doing that, but Sherman's going to have to coach a lot of people on that young Raiders team if he does end up going there. Okay, no name at all. Appreciate the question. Any chance the Broncos trade up or draft a quarterback at number 9? There's always a chance. I mean, you just never know what ends up happening. Am I a person that thinks that they should stick with Drew Lock? Yes, I do. Do I think Drew Lock's the answer? No, I necessarily don't. However, Denver's in a really difficult spot because if you want to trade up, you honestly might have to go to pick number 3, which is a lot of draft picks you're going to have to give up because obviously the Jags are going to go with Trevor Lawrence. Number 2 pick, the Jets. I think a team could either trade up for another QB or you could see the Jets take Zach Wilson. And then you got teams like Carolina that I think ends up taking a quarterback. I don't think the Lions do, and I know the Cowboys won't either. But if the Broncos really want to go up and get their guy, they're going to have to give up a lot of picks. I'm team wait. I know somebody just asked about being in the no-fly zone. You get Caleb Farley at number 9. That would fit absolutely perfect for what the Broncos are trying to do. All right, so let me know in the comment section. Name a team that will trade up in the first round. There's going to be a lot of teams that end up trading, and this is going to be a year where I think we could see more trades than we have in a very long time teams coming up. I think pick number 2, pick number 3 is going to be very, very interesting. So go down in the comments. Let me know a team that's going to trade up in the first round. Henry Nutch. Is Zach Wilson your QB3 or QB2? How about this? He's my QB2. When I first started looking at my rankings probably like a month ago, I asked Tom a lot, like, hey, Tom, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy? I got Zach Wilson at 2 because Justin Fields is a little bit still raw to me. I don't like saying every Ohio State quarterback is flopped, but I do think that a lot of times a quarterback looks great in an Ohio State system. They come to the NFL, and they're just not quite ready yet. Justin Fields in some big games I don't think looked very great. Did he play well in the national championship game? Yeah. Yes, he did. But there were some other games where I saw like the Northwestern game. That one was a tough one to watch. The game against Indiana, that one was a tough one to watch. So for reasons like that, I'm going to put Zach Wilson as my QB2. Big super chat here. Nick, what up? What if the Las Vegas Raiders are going to do with the first round of the draft? Do you think Dameon Pierce have a big season for the Gators? So go check out my video on my Raiders channel, youtube.com/Raiders Report. I would appreciate you guys doing that, where I break down the top 10 players that the Raiders drafted number 17. No, Dameon Pierce is not going to be there at 17. But I appreciate the super. Much love, my dude. Anthony Hernandez, if the Dolphins play their cards right, are they Super Bowl contenders? If you go out and trade for Deshaun Watson, you are a Super Bowl contender. The defense is ready to go. They had a top 5 defense. They have probably the best cornerback duo in the National Football League with Howard and Byron Jones. Your running backs, I think, are only going to get better. You have 4 picks in the top 50. Let's say you decided to move some of those picks for Watson. You're still going to have some high draft picks where you could potentially get a guy like Travis Etienne or potentially get a guy like Najee Harris. I mean, yes, the Miami Dolphins, I think, are a quarterback of Deshaun Watson away from being Super Bowl contenders. If they don't get Deshaun and they keep with Tua, I'll say no. Trent Lawson, you're next up here on NFL Daily. Make sure you guys are using hashtag NFL or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. Will the Steelers get Najee Harris in the draft? It's definitely a possibility. I don't know if Harris is going to fall that far. I do think the idea, since there is no combine, could hurt a player like Najee because he would have absolutely, I would have absolutely lit it up. Taste my lunch from earlier. But they definitely need a running back. I mean, James Conner going to be a free agent. I don't think they end up bringing him back. But I do think that Najee Harris is going to go a little bit earlier in the draft. And I always thought Travis Etienne was the number 1 running back. But I think because of the national championship game, I think because of the hype around him, he's going to be the number 1 RB taken. Now, we got a lot of people watching live right now, close to 800 actually. If I didn't get to your question, blame producer Sam. Don't blame me. If you want to ask me your question, hit me up on IG. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. My DMs are open for a reason, and I also like to talk football, believe it or not, even on my off days, even in my spare time. So if I don't get to your question, seriously, hit me up. Let's go to Israel. What up? Would the Panthers be elite if they got Deshaun Watson? Yes, absolutely. Christian McCaffrey, that offense with Watson, that would be hella fun. Let's go to Jawad Moore. Okay, should the Lions re-sign Kenny Golladay or draft a receiver? It really comes down to what Kenny Golladay ultimately wants. I mean, he is a phenomenal receiver. In 2019, led the NFL with 11 receiving touchdowns, but battled a lot of injuries this past season. If you're Detroit, potentially go and take a receiver depending on who's there, but it does come down to what does Kenny Golladay want. Or you could also look at Marvin Jones, because Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay, your top 2 receivers, are both hitting free agency. Jawad, if you're a big-time Lions fan, seriously, subscribe to our Lions channel, youtube.com/Lions Today. Super Chat the Lunatic, what body part you bet that Las Vegas Raiders trade Carr this year? So are you saying what body part would I put on the line for the Raiders to not trade or to trade? I don't really think that I'm going to put a body part on the line because I don't think they end up trading Derek Carr this year. So what would I bet that they don't? All right, sure. Sam's saying a finger. How about my middle big toe? Because nobody's ever going to see it. Sports all day. Despite quarterback concerns, do you still see the Niners as contenders? Also, do you see you continue to get better after that great rookie year? Yeah, Brandon Ayuk is a receiver that I loved, especially when he first came out of Arizona State. He's got that burst. He just needs a quarterback that can really, I think, he can showcase his best skills. Plus, I want to see what he looks like with George Kittle out there on the football field. Are the Niners contenders? Yes, they absolutely are, because when that defense is fully healthy, they're one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in all of football. And You know, the other issue is they play in a phenomenal division where the Rams just got better with Stafford. You got the Seahawks, and you got the Arizona Cardinals. They need a quarterback in order to be able to compete, but they're always going to be contenders because of that defense. All right, Christopher Botchus. Who retires first, Big Ben or Brady? It's Big Ben, because I think Brady's got another 4 or 5 years left. Big Ben's going to play one more year. He's going to retire in 2022. And then Ben wasn't great. But so, yes, I'm going to go with Tom Brady. He's going to play longer than Ben Roethlisberger. He just has a lot more in the tank compared to Big Ben, who you can see he's done. And I think if it wasn't for $41 million, this would be his last year. He's going to come back unless the Pittsburgh Steelers say, you know what, Ben, we're going to give you $40 million just to retire.